So this is going to be real quick. It's not just, this doesn't just pertain to our teachers, it pertains to our classified staff, to our maintenance. Everyone, we're very fortunate right here in Alameda. We run into employees that work here all the time at the grocery store, everywhere else. My background is before I was on the board, I was PTA council president, but I was also a substitute teacher. I've been a noon soup. I raised 4 kids here doing really whatever needs to be done. We don't, I personally can't afford to live here. We rent. We've been renting the whole 14 years we've been here. There are many families like ours that barely get by living here. We all know property, home prices have just keep going up and makes it really unaffordable for many of us. So this doesn't just pertain to our teachers, it applies actually to many of us that somehow make it work. We can't compete with the tech world in regards to salaries somehow. I mean, those of us that choose to live here that don't make those exorbitant salaries, we just keep saving our pennies.
Well, once again, I agree with Trish. We live in a great, great place. And unfortunately, lots of times, great, great places cost a lot of money to live at. But we're blessed that we have the opportunity to live here. Okay, one of the things I'd like to see us possibly implement, if we could, as far as the city, would be something similar to what San Jose is doing, as far as with their teachers home buyer program that they adapted in, 2010, I believe, where they'll actually defer somewhere between $35,000 and $50,000 as far as your house payments, okay? It's probably not perfect. I'm sure it has, flaws, but at least they made an effort to try to relieve this problem that we have. So I'd like to see us possibly do something like that or research other possibilities, but I think that'd be a nice step. And gosh, I'm short. I mean, I wouldn't go. Okay.
My church has been involved in a lawsuit about affordable housing over 20 years ago. And Guyton won the lawsuit against the city. As a result of that, whenever there's new construction, there's a certain percentage of affordable housing to be available. The city of Alameda proposed plans for affordable housing at different sections in Alameda. I think that was discussed about a month ago. Our proposed the school board designate a superintendent and a board member to meet with the city manager to talk about affordable housing for teachers. Another avenue is, having been on the traffic commission, the district staff and designated board members should also meet with the staff of the city planning board to look at those options and then to present something to the city planning board. Thank you.
And I'll be quick, as Neil basically said everything I was going to say. I think the school board really needs a better working relationship with the city. If any of this is going to get solved, it's going to be in cooperation with the city. And for whatever reason, that seems to have broken down over the years. I think what he suggested was a superintendent and a school board member making a relationship with the city manager is not only important, it's critical. There's all sorts of areas from housing to joint power agreements that can be done if we actually start working closer with the city. So I'd like to see that happen. We can look at housing, we can look at joint power agreements over the pools, over the sports fields and other things where we can share responsibilities, we can have common costs. Thank you.
This is where I get to talk about why it's so important to have people who know how to do the collaborative work with many other organizations to try to solve problems that maybe are just bigger than the one little puzzle piece you're looking at. And one of the skills that you have to be able to pull in all of those other parties is to be able to reframe the issue so that they participate with you, because they can see that there might be a joint solution that's in the offing. So even with the solution of doing the housing, my approach to the city would be is, look, we have 2 cops that live in the city of Alameda. We have maybe 5 firefighters live in the city of Alameda. That is not in our best interest. It's not like this is a horrible place to live. They just can't afford to be here. So it makes sense for us to approach the city to be able to say, doesn't it make sense for us to have some kind of a program where our teachers, our firefighters, our cops, some of the most important people that are our public servants should have the ability to live here, participate here, and be the lifeblood here with us? Thank you.
So as with everybody, we believe this is a wonderful city to live and raise our family in. And frankly, it's sad what we pay our beginning teachers. Why back in 2000 I started getting involved in volunteering and working to pass parcel taxes. And also the amount that they have to share in health care cost. But the frank reality is we have to live within our funding. Hopefully, weighted student formula will be able to make us more competitive with surrounding districts. But to be very clear, until there is significant, really significant increased state funding, we're going to have this problem here in Alameda. Working with the city, actually I'll tell you over my past 4 years, I think we're doing a whole lot better with our superintendent meeting with the 2 city managers that she's dealt with, and certainly the school board and the city council now have regular subcommittee meetings, and we're working towards that. There was a dream and hope that redevelopment could help create teacher housing, but unfortunately it didn't work.
Those are some very good points, actually, because our budget is controlled by the state, and we are sort of in that system, and we have some control over it, however, and that is look at the demographics of other districts with similar demographics, and our wage and our salary of the teachers is far lower than other districts with similar demographics. That's all I want to say. So we need to still strategize to build the salaries of the teachers.
I live in Bayport, and which most of you know is a fairly expensive development. And at every 4 block, every square, there are located 4 units of market rate housing, indistinguishable from the rest of the housing. And their house looks like my house, but that's available on to people who qualify, and teachers would qualify for that. But it would have to be some kind of an agreement reached between the city and the school district. So, because the school district negotiates with the builders to make that a priority for teachers and then other city employees to be able to get that housing. And I think that's something that I think Neil alluded to it. It's something that's absolutely within reach, easy to accomplish if we could just have a smooth connection between us and the city. Thank you.